So Gabby's gonna look at me and awkwardly giggle to start this off. And we just want to put together a little video, diary, journal, journey of what we're doing here, and kind of something that we don't really know where this is going to take us, but something that we'll have to look back on no matter where we're at, and something that maybe we can share in the future, put on YouTube, or something that will help other people see kind of our journey and maybe touch some other lives, or just be an informative, semi-fun thing to watch.
Informative or just entertaining.
Yeah, pretty much. Gabby and I have gone through the foster parent classes here in Jacksonville, and what's normally a 9-week course was condensed into 4.5 weeks. And from the start of that course to today was probably about 2 months, and we now have a 2-year-old, almost 2, and a 3-year-old boy asleep in the next room, Matthew and Noah. They are in a very different situation than even we were told about in the classes, which we probably can't get into too much here if we're going to share this, but it was even more different than something that we've been told about and went through in the classes. Well, the classes were twice a week for 3 hours over those 4.5 weeks, so we'd have 6 hours of classes a week. And it's been definitely an adjustment. Matthew's a little bit afraid of dogs, and as you can see, we have 3 dogs that are very much a part of our lives and are always around. So it's been a little bit of an adjustment to show him that when a dog comes up to him, it is not trying to hurt him. We don't know about his past and where that's come from. I think some of it now is just programmed, as a lot of times he's not afraid to walk around them if they're laying down. But they are at face level, so that's got to be kind of intimidating to have them right in your face as you walk around. And Noah is just a tank, doesn't care, just pushes right through them, loves them, loves his fruits.
Yeah, he does.
But it's been pretty interesting just to get this started, and another reason we wanted to do this was just to track our emotions going through, and to be able to look back, and if Matthew and Noah are reunified with their grandparents, that we're able to look back at this as part of our journey with them, and to help us for the next children that'll be in our house, however that is going to be, and however God's going to take that journey. So not really sure where this will go, what direction this will go. May just be something that's informative for our family that's back in Wisconsin, but we just thought it'd be really cool for us to be able to put this together and loop it back, and also to share with the family of whichever children are in our house, so that maybe they could see bits and pieces as we cut it up of where these kids are at. Luna, stop it. And that way they can see the boys or whatever kids are in our care grow up, because that was a big thing that Gabby and I really wanted to do, was to be able to keep those families together and to help with reunification. We thought that'd be selfishly very rewarding for us, but also really just great for the kids. We knew that we could offer a loving home, and we thought about this. We actually miscarried twice, and so this has been something really big for us, where we really thought we were going to kind of go a traditional route, have kids, maybe adopt, and then Gabby really had it put on her heart to open our home to fostering. We are in a position to be able to assist families in that way, and offer kids a loving home. And from that, we just really felt that her calling has become our calling, and now we're in it. 2 months and we're in it.
Well, I think We had also always talked about like potentially fostering, but we kind of thought we were going to have kids and then foster. And then one day I finally just looked at Jason and I was like, why do we have to do it in that order?
I kind of ignored her when she said potentially foster too. I was very ignorant to what foster care was. I knew it was a thing, but Gabby has a background in it with her siblings, and I was extremely ignorant to what it was, what it entailed, all the things that go about it. So,
You want to talk a little bit
It's
about
very
what
learning.
the last like couple weeks have looked like?
so the last couple of weeks for us we've been able to.
Hold on. So let's go back to Jason and I were in Wisconsin on a family reunion for Jason's family, and we got a text message early in the morning from our licensing specialist, who said, "I have something I want to run by you guys. If you could give me a call." And I called her, and we hadn't even finished submitting all the paperwork to get licensed, so I wasn't sure what exactly it was. And she had explained that it was a unique situation where they needed to find a home for these two little boys. They were in a home right now, but it was just a little more than the parents had expected it would be, the foster parents, and so they needed to find a home, and they were hoping to slowly transition the boys from that foster home to another home. And so if we had agreed to take them on, we would get to meet them and start spending time with them and getting to know them before they came to live with us once we were licensed. So when we got back to Jacksonville was
July 5th.
the 4th of
July 4th,
the 4th of July. We got to go over to the house where the boys had been living, the foster home, and we got to meet them and spend time with them. And I think we both pretty much we clicked with them right away.
Me a little bit more than you, but other than that,
whatever. It took Noah a little bit, I think, to kind of warm up to us, but Matthew warmed up to us right away. He wanted to play with us and was excited about us. And Caitlin, who was the foster parent before us, texted me the next day saying that they were asking about us. And so then over the last couple of weeks, we have had the opportunity to really spend time with them, get to know them, do some overnights with them, and just kind of slowly work our way into it, which I see as a blessing, because coming from a family, it's just the two of us, I think that it would have been a little bit more overwhelming just to all of a sudden be like, okay, here's two boys, go. So we had the opportunity to kind of wean ourselves in. I don't know if that's the right word. I think that's the opposite word. What's the right word?
I guess it could be wean them off of the other family.
Yeah.
It was just a good way to transition.
Yeah.
Kind of bit by bit. Rather than taking a sip from a fire hose, we were able to just take a normal sip out of the water bottle, be good to go, and it's still been different, quite.
Yeah.
Today I did bedtime by myself. It's quite exhausting. I'm very tired right now. It's like 9 o'clock when we're doing this, and I'm ready for bed.
Yeah. But, we're going to start getting them into a routine and just try to give them some, normalcy. I think that's what we want for them, to just feel safe, to feel loved, to know that they matter to us, and to just give them a normal life, where they're not constantly going from house to house, and they have to do visitation out of county, so there will be a little bit of travel for them once a week, but besides that, they'll have a pretty normal day-to-day life.
Yeah.
How are you feeling right now with everything? You're tired, but we found out yesterday we were licensed, so the 16th of July is the day we got licensed. It was 6 business days from when we were submitted.
Yes, it was all very fast.
So quick. We thought it was going to be 3 to 4 weeks. He was thinking 2. I was thinking 3 to 4 weeks. So when we got the text from Nikki saying that we were licensed, I was like, whoa.
I really don't even have fully processed emotions, because because it has just been like we met him, and then I was actually out of town the next weekend, and Gabby spent some time with them. And
Pretty much the next full week you were gone.
Yeah,
you were gone 8
and
days.
then they were gone. They were here.
I got to spend a lot of time with them while Jason was gone, getting to know them, and I had them overnight by myself, spending time with them, and then when Jason came back, we got them over the weekend.
We had them Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so pretty much when they moved in today on a Tuesday, it really felt like this was just like they hadn't left, and since I didn't have the transition time that Gabby had, I don't really have fully formed emotions on it because it's not, I guess it's not something about for me how you feel. This is reality. Doesn't really matter how you feel. You signed up for this. This is what you're doing, and I guess I didn't realize that I could love the kids as fast as I could, which
as you
is
do.
Interesting. Yeah,
Love them as fast as you do. Yeah. I think we've formed pretty healthy attachments pretty quickly with the boys. They're calling us mommy and daddy, which we didn't tell them to do. We introduced ourselves as Gabby and Jason, and I think it just felt natural for them to call us that. And something I kind of pointed out, I got to write a letter to their grandparents, and I said that in the same way that a parent can love more than one child, I think that a child can love more than one set of parents. And so I truly feel that like the way we let them into our lives and opened our hearts to them, I think they just did that right back with us. And I think they feel that love that we already feel for them. They know they're safe with us, and I think that's why that attachment kind of happened so quickly.
They definitely want stability, even at this young age. You can see them craving something to be, this is how it is now. Before we met them for the first time on the 4th, I believe it was, they'd been in 4 houses in something like 10 days. So they bounced around a little bit, so I think they're just craving. And now that they've fully moved in here, this is their 5th house in probably like 20 days. So it's definitely been quite the transition that I can't even imagine for them. So you can actually see when they're asking where they're going to be sleeping, whose house, where they're going, that they're just trying to crave the normalcy of that. So I think that us finally being their permanent foster home is going to be really good, and honestly I think a little challenging because they'll start to get comfortable, and then you'll start to get the little naughty boys come out a little bit.
We already have a little bit of naughty.
We already have a little bit when they'll look at you and they'll just continue doing what they're doing.
Like, Noah, we're not throwing all the DVDs on the floor. And he'll look at you and smile, and then just start throwing them again.
Yeah. But so it's definitely been something different, getting over a little bit of the selfishness for myself that we've had when it's just the two of us. We get to do what we want normally, whatever, if we want to get up and leave. So getting over some of that is already something that I'm aware of, and realizing that it's going to happen. Like tonight, probably would have gone with Gabby where she was going, but we had the boys, and I had to stay with them and do bedtime. So just some of those things are also going to cause Gabby and I to enter new roles.
Yeah, and I feel like it really, and I've said this a bunch of times with like a bunch of other people I've talked to, but when you become a parent, most of the time you have this like period to really prepare yourselves.
Yeah.
This 9 months of we're pregnant, this is kind of what we're getting into, and then when they're an infant, like you could take them wherever you go. Maybe you have to work around a schedule, but I don't know, I feel like it's a little bit different. And we had 2 months to prepare, I suppose, but you never really know what what situation you're gonna get into. You don't know how old the kids are gonna be. You don't know how many there's gonna be. You don't know where they're coming from. You don't know what their behaviors are gonna be like, or just what kind of kids you're gonna get. And so, even though we had that like I guess,
We
2 week
had 13
period.
days from the first time they met them. 13 straight days from the first time they met them till today.
We didn't even see him every day, though.
Yeah, but I'm saying we didn't really
So
have
to
a
kind of
gestation
prepare.
period.
Yeah, no, there was no gestation period. So I think there's still, us just trying to figure all the ins and outs of this together. I think it's going to strengthen our relationship. I think there's going to be challenges that we're going to face, and we both decided we're going to face them together, which I think is going to strengthen our marriage.
Yeah.
For sure. Because we're going to go through ups and downs together, There's going to be things where we're going to have to navigate through that we haven't had to, figuring out, well, I was planning on going here and he was planning on going here, but we both can't do that because we have babes.
Yeah, and on top of that, other life things are changing. Gabby, the same day we find out we're licensed, Gabby gets a new job.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a lot of...
Yesterday, yeah, I feel like if we had recorded this yesterday, you would have seen a lot more like, ah! Like, I was...
But she was too tired to record.
Yeah, I was way too tired
She got home
yesterday.
super late from doing another different job of nannying.
Babysitting. But I just, yesterday I was on cloud 9. I felt like all the stars were aligning. It was just...
And today it's like cloud 7. It's
Today's
super
cloud
excited,
7.
but
really excited.
not
Boys
the
moved in
same.
with us. I got to spend time with them, and yeah, but
There's
it's
just certain
okay, now it's
things.
real life. Now it's you can still be excited and still love every second with them,
But they were here during the day, and I work from home, and I already realized that balance is going to be tricky with them. Even if they come home go to daycare and come home at 3:30, 4 in the afternoon, it's still going to be tricky on how to manage that. So there's going to be all of the aspects of our lives that we didn't think were going to get touched, that we didn't even realize, are all going to get touched by having different children in our house. Right now it's these 2 young boys, but at any point different things are going to get touched in different ways, and I think that's something where we're not even going to see it. It's just going to, and sometimes we're not even going to consciously recognize it. We're just going to have to adjust, and it's going to happen without us a lot of times, I think, thinking about it.
yeah. I also want to just point out how, I know I've said this to you a million times, but how just blessed we've been since we started going through this process, and since we found out that, well, even before we found out that we were going to have the boys, I was trying to make sure that we had a crib if we were to have a baby placed here, and a toddler bed if we were going to have a toddler, and, a twin bed if we were going to have, a child that was older than 3 and was going to need to be, in a twin size bed, and, a dresser that they could have, and just make sure that whoever we had in our house, that we were semi-prepared for it, as prepared as you can be with physical stuff.
Speaking of which, Eric reminded me that he has the bunk beds that we need to look at.
Oh, great. Yeah, that's awesome. But people have been so generous, and it has blown me away to the point where, there have been times where I've just, been looking at all the stuff in the garage and just started to cry just because I was so overwhelmed by, people's generosity. And I just, people are like, oh, you have such big hearts, I don't know how you do it. But I think that when, God places something like this on your heart, you don't feel like it's, oh, we have such big hearts. It's, well, we're called to do this, some people are not called to do this. They're called to do other things. But I feel like this is a place where, we know we have a lot of love to give. And because we don't have kids of our own, we want to be able to give that love to kids. And just having people recognize that and just be willing to donate things left and right. They could probably get money for it. That crib we got was relatively new. That rocking chair we got was relatively new. And you look online and people are selling cribs for $300 or, and rocking chairs for $100. And it's they could have made money, but the second they find out that, we're being licensed as foster care workers, what's wrong, Lulu? As foster care parents, they're so willing to give. And then, our friends and family once the other
Lulu
baby
wants to be part of this video.
Our friends and family, once we found out that we were going to have the boys, with just getting us arts and crafts stuff and toys. Our parents have just been so giving, making sure that we had stuff for them to play with, and movies, and like plates and bowls and silverware and books for us to read. I don't know, just people
This
have been...
wouldn't have been possible if everybody hadn't been looking out for us.
Yeah, I don't know. It just reminds... I feel like it was reassurance that we were doing the right thing and we were in the right place, and that... But it's still just, like, sometimes I look at the stuff we have and I'm like, wow, people, like, just gave this to us. I'm just blown away.
Yeah.
So if you were one of those people, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I get emotional thinking about it.
This is Gabby now.
I've always been like this. So, yeah, like we said, we don't know where this is going to go. There might be, like, 5-minute videos of, like, oh, gosh, we have to tell you what just happened. Or, like, wow, today was a hard day. I just want to decompress. But we just figured we're going to do this for ourselves, and if we decide to share it, we decide to share it. But it'll be nice to be able to look back at it.
We'll probably put it on YouTube just to make it easier than trying to text it to all of our family individually, too. It'll be much easier to send one YouTube link. Sorry, Dad.
Why can you not navigate YouTube?
I don't know. I just feel like Mom and Dad are going to have fun on YouTube. We may edit this part out. We'll see.
We're not editing it at all. We're going to make these completely what they are. So if you stuck in with us for the last 21 minutes, thank you. And we look forward to you taking a back seat in this exciting ride that we are on. Any last words?
No.
All right. Good night.